Hi everybody, I'm Vincent Racaniello, host of the science show This Week in Virology, and I want to show you how I record my lectures. Every year I teach a virology course at Columbia University. I record every lecture and I put them online. You can find those at virology.ws/course. It's very simple to do this, and I think everyone who teaches should capture their lectures because many people can watch them. So I use my laptop to project my slides during my lecture. And as I'm talking, I capture my voice on a recording along with the slides. And I like to walk around when I lecture, so I use a wireless microphone. So here's an example of that. This is a wireless microphone by Sennheiser. It consists of a microphone that you clip onto your lapel, like that. It has a transmitter, which is right here. You clip that onto your belt. And then there's a receiver, which receives the signal, and that's shown right here. Now, the receiver, you can see, has coming out of it a wire, and this wire ends in a small jack. It's a 3.5 millimeter jack connector. This does not fit into my laptop. Others' laptops would work, but mine doesn't. So what I do is I use a little adapter made by Griffin. It's called an iMic. It costs about $30. And what you do with this is you plug the output of the wireless receiver into this. You put it into the in port. And this little adapter converts the analog signal, the analog audio from the wireless receiver to a digital version right in that white box. And then you can input it into your laptop or other computer by this USB cable. So you plug this into your laptop, and then you go in your control panel and make sure this is selected as the audio input. All right, so that gets you the audio into your computer. I use a program called ScreenFlow to capture both the screen, which is the slides I'm projecting, and my audio at the same time. So they're in sync. And when I change slides, it's in sync with my audio. So at the beginning of my lecture, I start the recording in ScreenFlow. I make sure I'm selecting the audio from my wireless microphone through the Griffin iMic. I make sure I'm capturing the screen, and then I record. And it's very simple. If you go to telestream.net, I believe is the website, you can find out more about ScreenFlow. And of course, other companies make similar products for other platforms as well. Then at the end of the recording, I stop it, I save it, I bring it home, and then I output the lecture as a movie. I trim the ends off. I usually add in music at the beginning and end, some credits at the end, and I output it as a movie, which I then upload. And so it's very quick after I've given the lecture to do this. So here's an example of ScreenFlow in action. This is a recording I've just made of my explanation for you. But what I want to do is show you how Keynote works. So let's fire up my program Keynote. You can do this, of course, with PowerPoint. Just to show you how I would capture the screen. So I'm open my Keynote file. I'll then play it, which is the way I would play it to present it to an audience through a projector, of course. And then as I go through my slides one by one, ScreenFlow is recording the video and my audio. And at the end, when I'm done, I simply leave the Keynote presentation. I go back to ScreenFlow and I would hit Stop Record. Now, at the very beginning, you configure recording, and since I'm using ScreenFlow, I can't really capture this to show you. But when you first start up ScreenFlow, you get this little camera icon in your menu bar. Within it is a configure recording selection here, and you make sure that you're recording the iMic, the Griffin iMic, or whatever your microphone input is, as well as your desktop. And then it's quite simple. And you can see the interface for ScreenFlow is quite simple. You have a track with all your video, and you have an audio track. And you can zoom in on this, for example, and you can scrub with this bar right here. And you can use it to cut. If you wanted to make a cut here, for example, you would press the letter T, it makes a cut, and then you could delete all of this. And that's how you could trim away bits at the beginning and end. And then when I'm done, I would simply choose Export to export the video. and you can give it a name. And then there are all sorts of presets for export. For the highest quality, I use Web High standard shown here, and this I upload to iTunes and YouTube, but I also make iPad, iPhone, and iPod versions as well, and this automatically sets the correct settings for each one of these. And there's also a Windows Media version, which by default doesn't come with the program. You have to buy some extra plugins in order to do that. You would just click export, and then it would go through an export process. And really, that's the extent of ScreenFlow. I'm Vincent Racaniello. You can find my courses at virology.ws. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, you can send them to vincent@virology.ws.